And we are back, and after 2 nights of Champions League action, we finally get to the only competition that matters, which is, of course, the Europa League. We have 4 games in the Europa League tonight, as well as 4 games in the Europa Conference, and today's video is going to be my predictions for all 8 games taking place this evening. Before we get into it, as always, a quick reminder to drop a like on the video if you enjoy these predictions, and subscribe to the channel if you are new around here. Let's just get straight into it because we have a lot of games to discuss today. And we start off with the early kickoff in the Europa League, and that sees Feyenoord taking on Roma. Now, obviously, I think this is a really tight one to call. Feyenoord are the runaway leaders in the Eredivisie at the moment. Roma are on a good run of form once again under Jose Mourinho, defensively and even offensively in their last few games as well. So I don't think this is as easy as just to say Feyenoord are playing very well in Holland, therefore they will get the win tonight. But that is what I'm going to go for. I think they're playing some really, really good football. They've got some good young players, one of whom I wish would sign for Manchester United in the summer. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 win for Feyenoord in this one. But I think this one could be pretty close. It depends how open Jose is willing to be with his Roma side this evening. But I can still see Feyenoord taking this one pretty comfortably if they play to their maximum potential. The next game, and the first of the late games in the Europa League, sees Bayer Leverkusen taking on Union Saint-Gilloise, that I've finally worked out how to say. Now, obviously, Union were able to beat their fellow Unions in Union Berlin in their last round tie, but since Xabi Alonso took over at Bayer Leverkusen, their run of form has been nothing short of spectacular. They've won their last 7 games, including beating Bayern Munich a couple of weeks ago. On the flip side, though, Union Saint-Gilloise have also won all of their last 7 games. So something has to give tonight. Someone's got a break here, and I'm just going to go for the home team. I'm going to go for 3-2 to Bayer Leverkusen. I think this is going to be a great game. All of the Union Saint-Gilloise games have been fantastic to watch over the last few weeks. There's been goals left, right and centre in all of their Europa League games. So I'm very interested to see how this one pans out. You would expect the Bundesliga side to win, which is why I've gone for them. But the way Union have been playing, man, you just don't know. It could go either way. Next up, it is Juventus up against Sporting Lisbon. Sporting, of course, coming off the back of their win against Arsenal in the last round. Juventus, of course, have been playing very well once again in Serie A recently. So another one that isn't that easy to call. You have to go with the fact that, as I said in the last round, Juventus would be second in Serie A if it wasn't for their points deduction. So it's not like they're having a bad season. And Sporting aren't having the best of seasons domestically, even though they're doing so well in this competition. As for tonight, though, I think I just have to edge it for the home side. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win. But again, Sporting could definitely pull off an upset like they did in the last round. The final game of the night, of this legs, should I say, in the Europa League sees my club, Manchester United, taking on Sevilla. And Sevilla are a side in massive disarray at the moment. They've just sacked their second manager of the season. So maybe we see a bit of new manager pomp for them tonight. But you'd surely expect Manchester United to get the win off the back of their last 2 recent performances. Now, obviously, Marcus Rashford is injured, so a major goal threat is going to be missing for Manchester United. But Anthony Martial is back and available, so you'd expect him to start up front in his place. Maybe playing Weghorst up front, Martial on the left as another option. But Martial actually has the best goals per game record for Manchester United this season. So despite how well Marcus Rashford is doing, in the games that Martial has played, he's got a better goal and assist return per minutes played this season. So I still expect Martial to do well. I expect Manchester United to get to win tonight, and I'm going to go for a 2-0 win to United. And stay tuned on this channel, because as soon as the full-time whistle goes, I'll be getting my reaction to the game done this evening. Now, as for the Europa Conference League, we kick off with one early game in that one as well, and it is the other English club on show tonight, which is West Ham, and they travel to Ghent. Now, kind of similar to some of the other teams in the Europa League, Ghent are a side on massive run of form right now. They're unbeaten in their last 7 games. And they come up against a West Ham side who are continuously flip-flopping in their form at the moment. Every time it looks like David Moyes is going to lose his job, especially off the back of that 5-1 home defeat to Newcastle, they then go and win 1-0 away. So I don't think this is the easiest game to call at all. I think Ghent are a side that could very easily turn up and beat West Ham tonight. But if West Ham play to their full potential, I think they have the quality of players on the pitch to get the result away at Ghent. So All things considered, I think the safest thing to do is just split it down the middle and go for a 1-1 draw, because genuinely I think all possibilities are available in this one, and I can't really split them sitting here this morning. Next up, and the first of the evening games, sees Anderlecht taking on AZ Alkmaar. AZ, another side doing fantastically well in the Eredivisie this season, and Anderlecht not performing to the best of their abilities, I would say, since the departure of Vincent Kompany in the summer. So I don't think Anderlecht are good enough to win this tie overall. I don't even think they're good enough to beat AZ Alkmaar tonight, especially off the back of AZ beating Lazio in the last round as well. I'm going to go for an AZ win. I'm just going to go for 2-1. I think, again, it's going to be tight, but I would expect AZ to get the win overall. Next up, it is Basel taking on Nice. And I mean, as you'd expect, when it gets to these stages of the competitions, you'd expect these games to be hard to call. I think this is a slightly easier one to call. Basel haven't been particularly great this year. They've kind of scraped their way through each round of this Europa Conference so far, so I don't expect them to do anything special tonight. Nice are a side on a good run of form themselves, and I expect them to get the win. I'm going to go for 2-0 to Nice. I could actually see it being more if they really do turn up tonight. I just don't see Basel doing it. If they do, fair play to them. But for me, this is Nice's tie to lose. And speaking of ties to lose, the final one that sees Lechia Poznan taking on Fiorentina. Fiorentina on a fantastic run of form themselves, both in Serie A and in this competition. I don't see this being a game that's too difficult for them. I think this is probably the easiest tie of all 8 ties on your screen to call. Maybe tonight's a little bit harder because they're the away team, but certainly when it comes back to Florence next week, you'd expect Fiorentina to certainly wrap up the tie. But I'm expecting them to wrap it up tonight, to be honest with you. I'm going to go for 3-0 to Fiorentina. I don't think there's too much more that needs to be said. I don't see Lechia Poznan causing any problems for the Italian side tonight. And that is going to be it for today's video. As always, let me know down in the comments your thoughts on my predictions, as well as making your predictions for tonight's games. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you later on this evening for my Manchester United post-game reaction.